got a huge wealth portfolio, lots of money. Would you leave an inheritance for your kids? Well, many celebrities these days are now speaking out about the issue of inheritance. Many of them are stating that they would never leave any money for their children. Okay, people assume, and with good reason, that these children or the children of celebrities, trust fund babies, are spoiled brats. People assume that they are lazy. People assume that they are born with silver spoons, and so if you leave them any money, they will squander. That's the assumption, okay? That's where we stand with this assumption. For example, music legend Marie Osmond is holding firm in her statement that she won't leave her children any money whatsoever. The famous Osmond family superstar says that leaving an inheritance for your children can discourage them from working hard and eventually spoil them. How about Ashton Kutcher? He says he will give all his money away to charity and not a cent to his children. Bill Gates said, "It's not a favor to kids to give them huge sums of money or wealth. It distorts anything they might do, creating their own path." How about Jackie Chan, who says that he doesn't want his son wasting his money, so he's not going to give him anything. Or Sting, who says that he wants his kids to work for their own money, so he's not leaving them a penny. Or Simon Cowell, who wants to leave a legacy helping other people, so he won't give his kids any money. It's very true that champions are born in the arena of difficulty. There's no question there. It's very true that no team wins a championship by being cuddled during practice, okay? They have to sweat. They have to work hard. And it's also true that those who don't pay attention. We understand if people don't work hard for things, the likelihood of them taking care of those things is very, very small. But I disagree. And here's my take on this topic of not leaving an inheritance for your children. Number one, leaving an inheritance classifies you as a good person. Proverbs 13:22, King Solomon says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his grandchildren." So if a person refuses to leave an inheritance, that's not a good man. You're not considered a good man according to the scriptures. Your money represents your sweat and blood. Now, when you work like this and you leave your children and their children something, you are teaching them the importance of hard work. They can look back and say, grandma really worked hard for this. Grandma really put her sweat and blood into this. Now you're teaching children to be diligent. You're teaching your grandchildren diligence. You're teaching them patience. You're teaching them about savings when you leave them something. If you leave them nothing, then what have you taught them? You've taught them all your life. You work and you spend everything. You've taught them that maybe you didn't even work. That's what you're teaching them. But a good person will leave something, an inheritance, which is monetary value for their children. I know some people say, well, an inheritance, it doesn't have to be money. It's money. Okay? You leave an inheritance. In context of the scripture, he's talking about money, cash, leaving cash for your children. The second reason why I believe every person should leave an inheritance for their grandchildren is because an inheritance gives your loved ones something to remember you by. Just think about it. It's a blessing that you're giving them a head start in life, yes, but they are going to remember that it was grandma, it was grandpa, it was so-and-so who gave them that head start. So you're forever going to be remembered by your family, just because you left an inheritance. Number three, not leaving an inheritance for your children is rather selfish. It's selfish because children most likely were around you. These children were with you before you became that celebrity, right? Before you became that celebrated person with all of this wealth, most likely you had these children, small, and they had to sacrifice with you as well. They missed out on having you at their school event, having you up with them at night, having you reading to them. They missed those times. So for you to say after you have made that money, you have amassed that wealth, that you're not going to leave them anything is selfishness, selfish ambition actually. The children were there and they deserve to share in the profits as well. Don't be greedy.
So the thing I don't get with these celebrities is that they won't give the inheritance to the children. They won't give the money to their children, but they will give it to strangers. They will give it to some charity or foundation that they don't even know, or perhaps they do know that they set up, but they won't give it to their children. Now, that the children won't work or that they become entitled is not the real problem. I don't believe that's the real problem. The real problem is that these children were not taught. They were not taught the basic principles. They were not taught how to earn money. They were not taught how to be disciplined, how to live in a family. They were not taught these things because, of course, mom and dad were not there to teach them these things. So now it's unfair to say that you're not going to leave them this money because they will squander it. We're not going to leave them this money because it will make them lazy. No. It will not make them lazy. They're already lazy. They're already squandering. Okay? Money doesn't change anyone. Leaving them money is not going to change them. Money only reveals more of what a person already is. It only makes them more blank. So if you were that before, money only makes you more of that. If you were a good boy before, money will make you a better boy. If you were giving, unselfish, caring, having more money will make you more of those things. Money will not change you in a negative way. So I believe that these parents, these rich parents saying they won't leave any inheritance because these children will waste the money, they will be spoiled, they won't be creative, they won't this, they won't that. It's because they already are like that. So the solution, I would say, why not allocate that money to the children? Why not give the money to the children? However, you can add a clause to the will. Because many times these children, they're spoiled. Okay, as children. Now they become adults, they are spoiled adults, yes. And I wonder, how do you know that they will squander that money? How do you know that they're not going to work, that they're going to be lazy? It's because they already are, period. So the solution to this is to allocate the money, but in your will, you could say, perhaps, this child will not gain access to the money unless this and that are done. Okay, for example, unless they are running a profitable business, unless they have, they've been in business for X number of years. They won't get this inheritance unless they have an account with blank amount of money in there. So you can do that. You can give them the money, but give them a clause as well before they can collect that money. This, I believe, is a better solution. So now, are these celebrity parents really serious about not leaving their children any money, or is this a hoax? Well, I don't know if they're really serious about it because they are already giving their children everything. They are already paying for their schools. They're already, giving them money for business, etc. But are they really serious? Or is this just another one of their tactics? Like how Mark Zuckerberg has, this tactic where the uber rich folks who claim to be super frugal, they claim to be, like they don't spend money on this, they don't spend money on that. Like Mark Zuckerberg, who walks around with his t-shirt all day, his $400 t-shirt. So is this something like, like they're trying to look poor, trying to fit in so people would accept them? Is this what they're doing? Like Elon Musk, who he could purchase Twitter for $40 billion, but yet claims he had to sleep wherever, no house, he can't afford a place to stay, etc. So celebrities love appearing poor so that they could identify with the rest of us, right? The general public. They want to identify. They want likes. They want loves. They want to feel accepted. And I believe this is one of the reasons why they say these things and dress the way they do, that people can accept them. So they remember they are celebrities, so they have a need to be celebrated. However, they've already spoiled their kids. We know that, which is why they claim they won't leave them any money. They've already given them so much. So, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that their kids do have their last name, right? So the children will do well when they become adults because they are riding on the coats of these celebrity rich parents. So obviously they have the names, they have the connections. I'm pretty sure their parents connected them. So they have the connections if they need money for anything. They're not starting from zero like most of us. So it's their money, their choice. But doing wealth God's way requires that we obey the scriptures. He says to leave an inheritance, so that's what we do. So to avoid this problem for you, please train up your children in the way they should go. Teach them about money. Teach them about work. Teach them what it means to profit. Did you know that 21% of millionaires receive no inheritance at all? Yeah, sure. 79% of all millionaires got their millions through their hard work. They receive no inheritance at all. So if you have not received an inheritance, you're fine. But while it is godly for parents to leave an inheritance to their children, most do not. So this means that you cannot sit back and wait for your parents to leave you something. You cannot sit back and say you're waiting for someone to hand you over some inheritance. You should be working on your own inheritance. You should be doing the work that it takes to create your own wealth for yourself and for your children. As you heard, more and more people are wanting to spend all of their money. In fact, they are saying now that they want to spend all their money while they're alive. They're leaving nothing. Some are leaving nothing to charities, leaving nothing to children, nothing to families. They want to take cruises. They just want to go until their last breath and leave nothing. So for you now today, you should be working on your own inheritance. And I want to encourage you to take the journey on starting the way to leaving something for your children and being obedient to that scripture. And if you want more information on how you can build wealth, not as a celebrity, but as someone starting from scratch right now, starting from nothing. If you want more information, if you're broke and you're hoping to one day leave an inheritance that's large enough for your children and their children coming after them, then check out this video right here where I tell you more about it. If you like this video, please like this video, subscribe. Thank you for joining me, and as always, I'll see you in the